What is up, guys? We are back here with some market watch shenanigans. All right, so typically we don't do pre-sales on the channel, right? We've been beating a dead horse here, but we know that pre-sales, buying stuff in pre-sales is like a losing bet most of the time, like 98%, 95% of the time. You're going to lose money. So we do not advocate to basically support pre-sale buys. We don't want people to be encouraged to buy on pre-sales. So typically I don't do like a market watch on pre-sales, but with the 2023 tins, we're going to make an exception here because this is going to be a train wreck, guys. And I've seen some other people on Twitter kind of hop on the same bandwagon, and it's cool to see because I like seeing people actually agree on something. And so, I mean, okay, before that, if you guys did not watch my previous video, I did make a case of why Monster's Revenge is going to be cannibalized and the value is going to drop because of these tins. But also, and I think I made the comparison as well with Brothers of Legend and Legendary Duelist Season 3, right? We have the precedence of Konami fucking up two sets and them kind of fucking each other up in a sense, right? Because with Brothers of Legend, we had three chase cards being included that were also included in Season 3, but they were both short printed they were short printed in both sets. And typically you see them in season, you would have seen these cards in Season 3, right? I'm talking about Magician's Souls, we're talking about Evil Hero Dust Gold and Evil Hero Malicious Bane. These cards were actually really expensive at their respective times, like between 150 to 200 depending on the card, and like they did need reprints, don't get me wrong, but Legendary Duelist Season 3 was just around the corner when Brothers of Legend came around, right? It was less than a year that the set was going to be introduced between Brothers of Legend and the Season 3 set. And in that case, both sets short printing the hell out of the cards, and both sets, including the cards, made the cards really cheap, which is good for consumers or the buyers of the people that wanted the cards. But it made their respective sets suck because the chase cards for those sets were just very hard to get, and then you can also get them in other sets, right? So then what's the point of opening a product if you can just buy the singles that people are trying to give away? Basically, not give away, right? I mean, they're still like 20 bucks. Actually, not necessarily. The Evo heroes are pretty much given away at this point because they're pretty darn cheap. Like they're like $2, and these were like $200 cards at a point, guys. Like, it's fucking insane. So why am I talking about two 1.5-year-old sets or however old they are? Because we're gonna see the same fucking trend here, guys. 25th anniversary tin of Dueling Heroes. Okay, so we have off the hop, we have Dark Magician and a Red Eyes quarter century rare that are going to be included in here, cannibalizing the legendary what's it called, collection that we got like 4 months ago. In that set, we got a Dark Magician and a Red Eyes quarter century rares. Granted, we got confirmation, guys. These two are going to be in different arts, different variants. However, it's still cannibalizing. And now Konami set a precedence that they will cannibalize a card with the same rarity within like months of each other just to sell a fucking product. Now, why is that important? Because we have a November set coming up, guys, and that November set is going to include a lot of meta relevant cards. They basically said fan favorites in the tagline of the product, right? But we know there are a lot of meta cards included in there. I think there was Forbidden Droplet off the top of my head, and what other really good Pot of Prosperity. And we also know that every single card in that set is going to be included as a quarter century rare. It has a potential of being a quarter century rare, right? So why am I saying this? Monster's Revenge introduced two quarter century rares of two meta cards, right? In the form of Azus and IP Masquerena. Now, Azus might not get printed in the November set because it's also getting a reprint in a structure deck in early January, unless it got pushed back again. But it should be early January or sometime in January that we're getting a Zeus reprinted. So maybe it's not included in there, but IP definitely is. And now if people are saying, IP is not gonna get a quarter century rare. Guys, Dark Magician, Red Eyes, Black Dragon, another quarter century rare. My guys, they might make it the alternate art IP, but it just sets a precedence that Konami is going to cannibalize their products. They are going to, they're not afraid to cannibalize their most expensive, the highest rarity card, right? A Starlight, the rarest, the most rare, I don't know how to phrase it, but the most rare rarity, the most scarce rarity, Starlight, they cannibalize it with quarter century rares, and now they're saying that they can cannibalize quarter century rares with other quarter century rares of the same card. So Konami is dropping the ball. Anyways, going back to these pre-sales, Stardust Dragon, I feel is a little bit cheap, guys, because 783. I mean, we're gonna take a peek at at the Starlight Rare. It did drop significantly in price, but if we look at its past, it touched almost 800 bucks. I mean, this card doesn't see play, guys. This card is not seeing. I mean, I'm sure there's like a weird deck here and there, but has anyone topped with a Stardust Dragon in their deck recently? I don't think so. I don't really follow the meta too much, but I've seen some deck lists from recent events, and I haven't seen a Stardust Dragon, you know? And it was 800 bucks. That's because of collectors. Now, the thing about it is they are cannibalizing Stardust Dragon, Starlight Rare, and the collectors are the ones that are actually buying these high rarity cards are probably going to be upsetty spaghetti about it, right? Why would you buy into expensive cardboard from Konami when they're just gonna spit in your face, essentially, right? I do like the quarter century rares personally, but I understand where collectors are coming from, and I mean, you can kind of see this, right? This is a Starlight Rare and a quarter century rare is basically the same thing. It has a stamp, it looks slightly different. We get it. However, I mean, the market has spoken. People have been trying to sell, and the price went down just because of that reprint. Normally, this doesn't happen, right? If a Stardust Dragon were to get printed in another rarity, this would not have happened, or it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have had that dramatic decrease, right? So going back to the tins, right? $7, wasn't it? Like 750, 783. I feel like that's way too low, even still, because I mean, now people that didn't have the money, because I mean, $800 is a lot of money to buy the Starlight Rare Stardust Dragon, now have the potential of getting this. And we saw that there was a lot of hype for a card that didn't see much play as basically the same rarity as less sub 10 bucks. I mean, Blue Eyes White Dragon right now is like a $14 as a quarter century rare. Dude, this card is actually pretty cheap. Out of all the quarter century rares, this and Black Rose Dragon, I feel, are really cheap and probably something people should buy. I'm still hesitant on pre-sales. I do want to see a little bit of what goes on. But I mean, even Black Rose Dragon, we can take a peek real fast. Black Rose Dragon Starlight. It should be like 300 something bucks. It also went down dramatically, but oh shit, that ain't bad actually. I thought it was going to be less than 400 to be honest, but it is a healthy 440. Oh man, yeah, that is it's expensive, guys. That's why I'm laughing. But 584 is really cheap for what is essentially a Starlight, and that's all I'm gonna say on that. Honestly, I feel like there's some hidden gems in these teens. I guess not all bad, guys. I know I started off with doom and gloom and Konami fucking up as usual, but in silver lighting and all this, there are some really good cards. The two that I just mentioned that are worth picking up, that are going to be not that expensive. I feel like one of these two is going to be short printed, if not both. But out of all the promos, definitely those two are the ones to get, honestly. But moving on here. All right, so let's switch it up here with the non-promos. Here's some more bad news, right? So we already got the set list. We know that we have two more prismatic secret rares than normal. However, Konami dropped the ball because now you're still essentially you have the same odds as before, right? The odds didn't change because they included twice as many secret rares in this set. So what I mean by that, right, is if Konami did include two more secret rares per pack and then kept the set size the rarity spread, I should say, the same, right? Let's say they used to have 30 secret rares and now you have double the secret rares per pack. That means you have double the chances of pulling the secret rare that you want, right? What Konami did though is they doubled the amount of secret rares, so now there's like 60 or 70 secret rares. So it's basically you're back to square one. It's just that more cards that are in that rarity. And to be honest, a lot of the cards in that rarity don't really even deserve, or, I mean, yeah, they don't deserve to be in that rarity. I mean, it's cool to see, but it does bring the odds way down, right? For example, we got the Rite of 𝗦𝗦𝗧𝗏. Here we go. Rite of 𝗦𝗦𝗧𝗏 did not deserve to be printed as a secret rare. It was just reprinted as a secret rare, and that is, I think, the quintessential pick of. I think that's point proven right there. Right, there are cards in here that did not need to be secret rares, but Konami did it just to increase the pool of secret rares. So there are, again, short prints in this set, and that sucks. Like, this is just Konami being a dick for no fucking reason. And it is what it is, I guess. But the Steel Lubion, of course, is going to be in here. It kind of got a reprint recently in Monsters Revenge, but not really, which, again, what was the point of Monsters Revenge? There was no point in including Lubion if they're just going to reprint it here, especially when Lubion wasn't really technically reprinted in this. Like, Monsters Revenge, like, in hindsight, is a horrible set. it really does suck. And now that, because of the tins, right, it has that dual. Now they're kind of linked in a way. If Monsters Revenge is bad, then the 2023 tins are bad as well, because they have the same cards, not a lot of the same cards, but they do have some similar cards, right? Kashtira, Fenrir. I guess people are kind of cautious of what's going to get hit in the ban list too, and that's why the pre-sales are the way they are. But I mean, Fenrir as a $12 card, I feel like that's too expensive, even when people are even for pre-sales and with people being cautious and whatnot. I feel like this is a little too high, because I think the ultra rare was like $20. Therian King is interesting as well, because there's like no deck using it, I don't think. It is, I mean, it's a good generic card, but $11 is pretty crazy. These three cards are driving the set, by the way, guys. Like, something that might get hit, a card, and a card that was kind of reprinted recently. So, yeah. 2023 tens, guys. Runic Tip. I mean, that's cool and all. Are people still playing Runic? I feel like Runic will get hit, just because, I mean, it's a very recursive archetype. Recursive archetypes are just inherently broken, and if Konami wants to balance an inherently broken archetype, then of course they're gonna have to ban some stuff. And it's probably not gonna be Runic Tip. Honestly, I think they have to hit Mountain or Magic Fountain or something like that. Runic Fountain, that's what it is. Magic Fountain is a song that always reminds me, that Runic Fountain always reminds me of. Illusion of Chaos, $7.92, I guess. I feel like that's too high, though, depending on the ratios. I mean, again, Konami artificially introduced a way of making short prints because they doubled the Prismatic Secret Rare pool. So it might be hard to get. I don't know. I haven't seen any videos, to be honest. Lovely Labyrinth. All these, there's a lot of reprinted side set cards, which is a mixed bag, right? Because did these cards actually need the printing, right? Because again, they're artificially increasing the set size to introduce basically short prints. So we'll see. I mean, I really don't know. What was this from? Darkwing Blast. This definitely should have been reprinted because it was from a main set. And I guess it was, I mean, it wasn't even that expensive, but it was introduced in a main set that's being reprinted. How do I say it? Specifically for this set. So it makes sense. But what's Rihanna? Did Rihanna need a printing? I mean, I really don't know. It could have been that these cards were really expensive, to be honest. $5. Is that because it went down? Okay, that did need printing. All right, you won. You won this round, Konami. Let's see. There might be other stuff. Visas definitely needed to be reprinted just because there's more Visas support coming out, and I think it was in Darkwing Blast 2, wasn't it? Or was it Power of the Elements? I forgot which one. Magic Karibo, of course, because it was in one of the sets that is getting reprinted in here. all the Fateful Adventure, the adventure package, all that stuff should not have been reprinted in here. It's been thrown in other sets, Magnificent Mavens. We saw it in Monsters Revenge. I mean, even that one bitch, the Effect Monster chick, she's in like 3 other sets or 4 other sets now. So I mean, like, just stop printing it. It's cheap. It's good. We good, guys. Um, and I think that's another problem with Konami right now, right? They're spreading out printing of archetypes into different sets instead of just printing all the archetypes in that set. A very recent example of this is Monsters Revenge, where Lubion wasn't really printed, but there was a Bestial that was printed in there. I think there was only one Bestial that was printed in like an accessible rarity, ultra rare, and all the other Bestials, including Lubion, were not printed. So like, what's the point of that? Like, just wait for the tins then, or don't wait for the tins and include all the Bestials in the Monsters Revenge, and then don't include them in the tins. Like, it's common sense, because now you're cannibalizing 2 sets. Like I said, you're linking these 2 sets and poisoning them. I don't want to say poisoning them, but you're poisoning them for failure. We'll go with that. Not poisoning them. You're poisoning. You're kind of setting them up to fail, and that's what they're gonna do. That's what people are expecting. Like, I'm not saying anything unique at this point. I don't think. I'm honestly glad that people are agreeing with this, because the more people that agree with this means that Konami has to fix their ways, right? I mean, of course, I think there's other factors, right? Like, maybe the archetypes are just not interesting. Like, I personally think a lot of these archetypes aren't interesting that are getting reprinted in here. Like, Lubion, the Bestials are cool, I guess, but that's about it. What else is in here? The 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗧 cards, again, they're cool, but I think they're kind of broken, and I don't want, and boring, to be honest. Like, 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗧 is kind of a basic archetype, to be honest. I mean, you summon something, you search something, you play whatever you just searched, then you banish stuff, and then you pass, and then you banish more. You have interactions in your opponent. Like, it's a basic ass deck. I don't care about 𝗦𝗘𝗏𝗧. I don't really care about Bestials either, but at least I guess Bestials kind of have. I mean, they kind of look cool, right? So I don't know. Are you guys excited for any of these archetypes? Maybe that's also why people are just not into it. You know, Labyrinth, I think, just got reprinted. What else is in here? Exo Sisters. We'll take a peek at Exo Sisters, because I have no idea how expensive these were. They're not really like meta, you know. Some people do play them, and a whole $6. That definitely did not need this archetype. Okay, let's go to Grant Creators. I don't want to just speculate here. What was the most expensive? $1.63. This is the bitch. Konami, this bitch does not deserve to be printed like 10 times in 1 year, bro. This is what you're killing your sets. All right. Sophia, I think, is the one we just saw, and that was the most expensive one. Holy, the collector rare is cheap as fuck. Riot of Aramis here from his main set is also pretty cheap. And let's see, I know there's more Exo Sisters, I just don't know their name. Ellis, is that something? I don't know if that's the one you play. There's like 2 that you kind of play together, and of course the extra deck monsters. But ooh, 21 cents. Does this archetype really need inclusion in the 2023 tins, guys? Ooh, I don't know about that one. Where's Big Dickolas? What's her name? Actually, both Exo Sister these Xyz monsters are pretty cheap as well. But are these the ones you use? I'm not too familiar with the archetype, guys, but I mean, just from looking at this page, Exo Sisters did not deserve an inclusion in the 2023 tins, which means we could have taken those out, and the pool would have been smaller, right? More, it would have been easier to pull the cards that you want. I mean, yeah, we can keep harping on this, guys, but the pre-sales are abysmal. I mean, in page number 2, we're already at $1 at $2, and I think we've complained enough in this video to kind of we made our point, right? We made our point. Konami, there's a lot you can do, man. There is a lot you can do. I mean, you can even take a page from this, right? One of the simplest things to fix your sets is to introduce different alt arts, basically, right? Because I mean, Dark Magician and Red Eye shouldn't be that expensive considering they just got a quarter century rare. But considering since they're different in different variants of different artwork or whatever, they are actually kind of valuable, right? So why don't you do that with other cards, right? You have so much potential of introducing so many cool new variants of cards. And then also just make interesting archetypes, bro. Like waifus, dragons, robots. It's been done. It's been good. We don't need that shit no more. We've seen it, man. Like the titty tax can only take you so much. These titty sisters are like $1. No one wants to play this archetype. Okay, maybe there are people that want to play it, but you know what I'm saying. Water Enchantress, stop printing cards to the ground. $2, dude. What is going on? That has been printed like at least 4 times in the past like year and a half. That is crazy, man. I mean, there are other cards that need printing, and they chose the card that is $1. Whew. What else can they do? Stop cannibalizing your sets. Do not reprint one card or like 2 cards from a specific archetype and then later reprint the whole archetype in another set like 3 months from that other set, you know? That's what happened with Monsters Revenge and Bestials. I think the same thing happened recently in the previous Battles of Legend. Didn't that happen? I think it was like shit. Yeah, I think it was with Ghost from the Past Second Haunting and with the last Battles of Legend, it was they reprinted, what are those called? The ships. Fuck, I forgot what they're called, but the ships. Grandbeard. What? I forgot the name, guys. It's escaping me. I'll put it in post. But they got split into 2 different sets for some reason. But like, what's the point of doing that? There's so much Konami can do. There's so much potential, and people are angry. And I love that people are angry, not because I like people being angry. I'm a really positive guy, guys. But dude, when you are destroying your own game, basically, right? Like who wants to invest in this? There are 3 people that impact, really 3 types of people that impact Yu-Gi-Oh right now, right? And of course it's going to be the hardcore guys, the collectors, and the nostalgia guys, right? Those are the people that are going to be buying your shit. You're pissing off the competitive scene because I mean, where's the ban list, right? Like that's what people are complaining about. They don't know what to buy because you're not introducing the ban list. You're screwing over your collector base because you're cannibalizing your sets, essentially. Like, well, there is no point in buying sealed, and there's also kind of no point in buying cards in and of itself because you're like, they're probably going to be reprinted like 3 months later. Like, what's the fucking point? Number 3, what was it? The nostalgia guys. Yes, but just stop pandering to the DM guys. There's so much potential that you can do. Reprint, make some alternate art elemental hero variants, man, or do some alt arts for the 5Ds guys, or do some alt arts for any other pro tag or any other series, or whatever you want to call it. Just do something that isn't killing your fucking game. Whew. All right, man, this is like a 20-minute video, 24-minute video. Ooh. Catch you guys in the next one.